All right, we are live. Welcome to the live stream, guys. So we're going to be talking about UAPs, and more specifically, what form are they in? And it seems like there's increasing evidence showing that that they're plasmoid beings. Please let me know if the if the feed is good, because I'm seeing a little bit of delay. So if ever the tech is not good on this, let me know, please, and we'll stop this before it gets too far. I was having some issues with the stream on Black Swan Revelation. So far, people are saying that it looks good. So we're going to look at exactly what plasma is before we start saying that there's plasmoids, meaning plasma beings. And I think that this is just fallen angel technology. Therefore, these Arial, these UAPs that we're seeing now in increasing manifestations have existed since mankind, because the fall of the fallen angels occurred prior to mankind. There was already an angelic rebellion, in my opinion, that occurred. So let's just jump into the PowerPoint. I want to show you some cool visuals. And what got me thinking about this was Black Swan Revelation. There's some Dorito commercial that's called Abduction or something like that. So as you know, many times in commercials, especially big events, opening ceremonies, things like that, they do a lot of occultic rituals. And people think it's merely entertainment, but it's not. There's a reason why when you're in a religious practice, that there's hymns being sung, that there's sometimes chanting, repetitive chanting, which Christians are said not to do. And the reason that they shouldn't be doing these repetitive chantings and mantras is because it sets you into a brainwave where you are very much more receptive, and as well receptive to things. Let's say, when I say receptive, uh, vulnerable. You open yourself up to be vulnerable to powers, principalities in the unseen realm. All right, let's jump right into the presentation. We have 11 people. Thanks for showing up, guys. 12 people. Please press thumbs up and share. If you enjoy my content and want to help pay for the platform a bit, the StreamYards, you can always give a super chat or become a member. But just your presence and your thumbs up and your subscription helps way more than anything. So we got Kai, the moderator. We got Darla, the moderator. We got as well Delta Dog is in the house, and Stephen Fry, my friend from Facebook. So let's jump into the presentation, guys. So we can stop looking at this wonky slideshow. Okay, so the majority of people that are really into UFOs often, we'll look at ancient astronaut theory and all of these really interesting shows and stuff like that. There's been a whole, in a way, mythos, and shall I say even somewhat of a religiosity that surrounds people that are looking into or are captivated by this kind of a phenomena. And it truly is interesting. All right. So another hypothesis, besides these are space brothers from far away, is the interdimensional hypothesis. And we know that quantum physics, we know that secular science is already acknowledging that there are many other dimensions, even up to 7 to 10 dimensions that they believe that there are at this point. So what the interdimensional hypothesis hypothesizes is that this is not a manifestation or phenomenon that is happening within the known universe, far off galaxies or something like that. That this is an interdimensional manifestation. It's an interdimensional phenomena, and Christians would use interdimensional as you have the earthly realm and you have the heavenly realm, and that's another dimension. So it's just using modern words. So the interdimensional hypothesis, it's an idea it is an idea advanced by ufologists such as Jacques Vallée that says unidentified flying objects and related events involve visitation from other realities or dimensions that coexist separately alongside our own. So it's not that there's far distance between this dimension or not, but that it's really overlapping. Just like time is a dimension that we are experiencing. It's not separate from the physical time, height, width, and stuff like that. So they just overlap. Kind of like I'm sitting here, but I can tune into AM and FM radios and stuff like that. That's not really other dimensions, but it is on a different frequency, you could say. Maybe it's not the best example. Let's just continue. It is an alternative to the extraterrestrial hypothesis. Interdimensional hypothesis also holds that the UFOs are the modern manifestations of a phenomenon that has occurred throughout recorded human history, where the prior ages were ascribed to mythology or supernatural creatures. Paranormal researcher Brad Steger wrote that we are dealing with a multidimensional paraphysical phenomenon that is largely indigenous to planet Earth. How can we come up with that conclusion, considering we haven't really gone much further from the Earth? If you believe we went to the moon, then that's the kind of the furthest that we've gone ourselves with ships. I'm very skeptical about the whole NASA space thing. Okay. Ankerberg and Weldon wrote the UFO phenomenon simply does not behave like extraterrestrial visitors. In the book UFOs, Operation Trojan Horse, published in the 1970s, John Keel linked UFOs to supernatural concepts such as spirits and demons. And I believe like Jacques Vallée and stuff like that, they were writing this in the 20th century, end of the 20th century, in the 1970s, 80s, 90s, things like that. And not Christian. So the development of the interdimensional hypothesis as an alternative to the extraterrestrial one increased in the 1970s and 80s with publications of books from Vallée. I didn't have time to put together any quotes about J. Allen Hynek, but in future videos, I'll also add his. Some UFO proponents accept the interdimensional hypothesis because the distance between stars makes interstellar travel impractical using conventional means, and nobody has demonstrated any anti-gravity or faster than light travel hypothesis that can explain extraterrestrial machines. And this is where we're going to get into the extraterrestrial machines, I will say, are largely plasma-based. With the IDH, the interdimensional hypothesis, it is unnecessary to explain any propulsion. I'll go further and say that we can use actually plasma technology for actual propulsion. So we'll get in that later. The interdimensional hypothesis, it is unnecessary to explain any propulsion method because the interdimensional hypothesis holds that UFOs are not spacecraft, but rather devices that travel between different realities. If we're already using, guys, I'm gonna have to blow my nose. If we're already using plasma TVs, we're using it for lights, we're using it for propulsion now, all sorts of things like that. Imagine fallen angels that were there at the creation of the universe when God created, the angels were shouting for joy. So yeah, they have some hidden secrets that they're aware of. This is explained as the UFO entering and leaving our dimension, meaning materializing and dematerializing. Always listen to the word manifesting. You'll hear that very often in the New Age. To manifest your reality. Give me a sec. You don't want to hear me sniffing the whole time. You're going to hear my big old foghorn blowing my nose. Obviously, we have to be careful when we're taking images from the internet. You never know if it's photoshopped or not. But I do have a video that I feel is quite convincing. And let's show it right now before we continue with the quotes, so that I give you guys what you want. Now, this might cause a strike, so at least the 14 people that are currently watching will be able to see this cool thing. All right. So this is the Malaysia Airlines, and supposedly this is a spy drone from the U.S. military that is capturing this. You're going to see it's kind of like a heat signal. So this the person making this video is claiming that this is footage from that, and I think it is. So they're capturing the heat signal here of the plane, and look at those orbs, which I'll say are plasmoids. Obviously, they're conscious. Now, they're circling this plane. Interesting that those plasmoids are not actually... Oh, there, did you see that? Completely disappeared into like a wormhole or something that was opened up by these plasmoid vehicles. Boom. Look at that. Convincing? This is another and just before it hits the next set of clouds, you're going to see it poof. Sorry if there's a delay. Right there. Boom. Gone. Did you guys see it? Can you guys let me know in the chat if the quality was okay for that video? What I can do is try and just freeze it. But if you it was good. Okay, perfect. Okay, and then after, I do want to show you one more. Did you guys want to just see it one last time? There you go. Being attacked, being circled, the plane. And then you have just a Stargate, basically. Can't say it's not a Stargate. Did it just dematerialize to nowhere, or did it go into another dimension? And is the government aware of this and just allowing civilians to be captured so that they can gain the technology? Because there has to be a deal. There has to be a back and forth, right? And I think that they're throwing civilians under the bus to get more technology, right? This is another interesting video. Now, in this video, again, I know? Is this like true? Is this photoshopped? I don't know, but you're going to see within the fires there that were happening in Los Angeles and stuff like that, that I believe what was purposely done so that they could put up smart cities. Very weird that houses were burnt to ashes, but you'd see actually in the remains of Los Angeles, you would see trees. So trees were there. They weren't reduced to ashes, but somehow like every single material from the houses were reduced. And there is like technology, like plasma technology, that can just like burn, right through. So in this one, you're going to see these plasmoids glowing orange like fire. So they're able to be within nature's fires, which personally is why I believe that eternal fire is the only thing that is able to destroy fallen angels. Like the first book of Enoch that says, I actually think they will get punished and destroyed. But I'm going, obviously, that's extra biblical. But there is the passage in the Old Testament that says God presides over the divine council, and he says, "You are Elohim, sons of the Most High, Beni Ha Elohim. Yet ye shall die like mortals." And that's God talking to angels who transgressed the law, and he's warning that their time is coming, and that even though they are sons of the Most High, angels, that they shall die like mortals. That's in the Bible. So let's get into this. Let's get it as big as possible. It's not as big as possible. Okay, that's as big as I can get it, really? Just a minute. Let's get it bigger. Okay. So you see them here? Let's start it over. You can see them here, these orbs, able to be literally inside the fire. Now, it's interesting that there's different classes of angels, and there's one that I think they're part of the category of cherubim, and that are seraphims, okay? Seraphims. So seraphims, I think, are cherubs, but they're actually flaming cherubs. And we can see this orb here, I think, is captured. We just captured here a seraphim. You can tell that it's plasma just flowing off of it. And I think that more and more these things are going to become more and more aggressive, in my opinion. I also have concerns that with blue beam technology, that if they just need to create an existential crisis so that they can take more and more of our rights away, that using Project Bluebeam to create a false alien invasion or disclosure, so that it creates so much panic that again, it's a world crisis, existential threat to humanity, and then again we find ourselves in lockdown and willingly turning on our neighbors that are aware of the hoax. But many, unfortunately, are blind. They'll just scoop it up. They'll just slurp up the narrative, unfortunately. All right, let's go back. Let me know in the comments what you think of those videos. Do you think those are hoaxes? Do you think those are legit videos? Are they just AI created? They are solid and solid at the same time. Exactly. Yeah, it's they're able to materialize, dematerialize. The plasma, I think, can show up as a silver-like disc. We see in the last video that the plasmoid orbs are literally flaming. You know, they were. It's like it took on the qualities of the environment that it was around. But then we also saw in the other one plasmoids that gave off, in a way, zero heat signatures. You could see the heat signature coming off the plane, but not the orbs. So very, very interesting. Now, just going to check out Chipmunk. Say hi. Hey, Chipmunk. What people call aliens, I call fallen angels and demons, and that's pretty much the narrative of this channel here too. That's what we're preaching as well. What people call aliens, I call fallen angels. You'll get along just fine here then. I've had personal experience with the Greys. So some think that at least the smaller alien Greys are actually just biological meat suits that fallen angel technology has created, because you have the fallen angels, right? That came down in Genesis 6, mated with women, created an abomination called the Nephilim, angel-human hybrids, which were the great men of renown, and you see that through all cultures. Heavily, a big imprint of that reality is found actually in Greek mythology. Those guys invented philosophy, or greatly advanced philosophy, rationality, and logic and thought and stuff like that. These people were not just superstitious dummies. Okay, so the Nephilim, they were the offspring of the fallen angels and women, human women. So when the Nephilim died, and a large portion of them died in the flood, a large portion of the flood was because of the fallen angels' corruption of everything that God had created, to the point where he had to do chemotherapy and start over with the 8 people on the boat kind of thing. So for their, it says that once those Nephilim died, they became the evil and unclean spirits that roam the earth and that torment humanity. So the occult and the demonic, experiences that people have had, and possessions and all of this stuff, these are the disembodied spirits of the offspring of the fallen angels. So when you look at this, I think the fallen angels have made biological meat suits for their disembodied evil offspring to inhabit and possess, so that they can function in the physical realm. That's a theory. There's a recent guy that's been giving disclosure, and he was a helicopter pilot, and he was transporting some oval-shaped UAP, looked physical. And while he was driving, he explains, and I don't remember his name, that he felt like something possessed him. It was a feminine energy, and he felt this deep amount of love. It was almost overwhelming, and it's remained with him ever since. So he's basically saying that he got possessed, being in proximity to this UAP, and he's being deceived, because even in the Bible it says even Satan can appear like an angel of light. So you know what I mean? This guy is deceived because he has an anecdotal experience that no one can take away from him. So this is the power of deception. There a lot of people that play with occult and stuff like that, and white magic, even, they say, oh, it's white magic. Their spirit guide or whatever is super kind. And then at one point, when the connection between these entities and the person playing with the occult, they turn on the person. True religion has God dying for us on the cross, and all other religions ask you to die for them, or they might suggest that you off other people for them. Delta Dogs in the house. Thanks for showing up, guys. We got Stephen A as well. He says, it's a crazy video for sure, Darla. Amazing. I think, remember, my wife has sees the shadow people at night. I never see it, thank God. The shadow people kind of like look like they have an old-fashioned man's hat, you know, and they're about 7 to 8 feet, and they're just pure black silhouettes, and they just stare, and sometimes they'll go very close, and usually my wife doesn't know if she's not moving because she doesn't want them to know that she sees them, or if she's paralyzed. And I do understand that modern science explains that as just sleep paralysis, but I'm not convinced. I think you have sleep paralysis because those things are doing it to you. I don't think that the sleep paralysis is the first, you know, and then after it gives that. No, I think it's a real experience. So we got Xander in the house. All right. I think I haven't seen it. We have a new mystery as well. So guys, if ever you want, do like Jackie, put cap locks if you want me to either pop up your statement or to answer a question. Which book in the Bible is mostly about Jesus? Well, which book in the Bible? I would say Revelation is the complete revealing of Jesus Christ. That's what it's. Don't forget, it's not revelations, it's revelation, right? So it's the revealing of Jesus Christ, and it refers to the Old Testament about 273 times out of the 430 some verses. So every breath is referring to the Old Testament. And we all know that Jesus in the Old Testament as well is everywhere. So I could say the Old Testament's full of Jesus too. Of course, there's the Gospels, which are basic, you know, biographies about Jesus's life by firsthand witnesses or people that have interviewed firsthand witnesses. And then you got, you know, all of Paul's epistles that have deep theology about Jesus. So considering that the Bible is just actually means book or library, I would say the book that speaks the most about Jesus is the Bible. You got to go through it all, you know. But yeah, you know, start with the Gospel of Matthew, I guess, if you've never opened up the book. Hear the message, and I suggest going through the New Testament before jumping to the Old Testament, and go through all the books, and maybe read over Revelation, but it might sound very difficult to understand. And then after, I would go to Genesis and just go from Genesis right through. What I usually do is I like Chuck Missler. So let's say if I go through Genesis, I'll go through prior to reading the chapter, I'll go through many sermons or lectures on the chapters I'm about to read. So I get a Bible study in. And so I'll either read the chapter first, then go look at tons of lectures or sermons, then return and reread it, and kind of do it that way. All right. What else are we going to show over here? Let's continue. Go for another 30 minutes max, big max. I already streamed did a lot of streaming this weekend. Check out the previous videos. All right, let's get back. So this is Jacques Vallée. This is the ufologist that greatly developed the interdimensional hypothesis. He goes, we are dealing with a yet unrecognized level of consciousness, independent of man, but closely linked to the Earth. I do not believe anymore that UFOs are simply the spacecraft of some race of extraterrestrial visitors. This notion is too simplistic to explain their appearances, the frequency of their manifestations through recorded history, and the structure of the information exchanged with them during contact. Don't forget that they often will speak about Jesus and say that he's an ascended master. So they often go after the real gospel. They preach another gospel. It's funny how they always go and they always have something to say about Jesus. Nothing to say about Muhammad, nothing to say about Krishna. The medical examination to which abductees are said to be subjected, often accompanied by sadistic sex manipulation, is reminiscent of the medieval tales of encounters with demons. It makes no sense in a sophisticated or technical framework. Any intelligent being equipped with the scientific marvels that the UFOs possess would be in a position to achieve any of these alleged scientific objectives in a shorter time and with fewer risks, and also maybe just using anesthesia if there are benevolent saviors, as many think, that will be deceived by that thought. The symbolic display seen by the abductees is identical to the type of initiation rituals or astral voyage that is embedded in the occult traditions in every culture. The structure of the abduction stories is identical to that of occult initiation rituals. The UFO beings of today belong to some class of manifestation as the occult entities that were described in centuries past. I think the stage is set for the appearance of new faiths centered on UFO beliefs. And you see what I mean? Like, all of the UAP phenomena fits into the Christian and biblical worldview. And people are starting to realize how closely it's fitting. So instead of saying, wow, maybe we should take the Bible seriously, instead people are saying, no, it's the Bible that got it wrong. And they're just misinterpreting space brothers and thinking that they're spirit beings. And Christians are saying, no, you guys are mistaken, and you guys think that they're your savior, intelligent, beneficial space brothers, and they are in fact the same thing that we've seen all throughout humanity's history about angels and demons. To a greater degree than all phenomena modern science is confronting, the UFO can inspire awe, a sense of smallness of man, and an idea of the possibility of contact with the cosmic. And the thing that's very attractive is that it is interesting. It's exciting. It's magical, like your curiosities, what if it's true, and all of this. But the one thing that it never actually creates in a person's heart is repentance from their sin. So people get really deep into the UFO, and it becomes like almost like a spiritual religion for them too. It's great because nothing is asked of the person. The person is just perfect the way they are. And I guarantee you, the way me and you are, we're not good enough to get into heaven. We would ruin it. To a greater degree, the religions we have briefly surveyed began with the miraculous experiences of one person, but today there are thousands for whom the belief in otherworldly contact is based on intimate conviction drawn from what they regard as personal contact with UFOs and their occupants. I will stress once again that we do not know the source from which UFOs or alien beings come, whether or not, for example, they originate in the physical universe as modern astrophysics has described it, but they manifest in the physical world and bring about definable consequences in that domain. Initiation rituals or astral voyage that is embedded in the occult traditions of every culture. Thus, the structure of abduction stories is identical to that of the occult initiation ritual. And here is an example of how plasma is created in the lab. All right. Already showed you that video of these plasma orbs circulating the plane, and poof, there it goes. It's gone. Plasma is often referred to as the fourth state of matter, in addition to solid, liquid, and gas. It is an ionized gas consisting of positive ions and free electrons. Plasma is created when a gas is heated to extremely high temperatures, typically above 10,000 Kelvin. As these temperatures, at these temperatures, the atoms of molecules in the gas gain enough energy to ionize, meaning they lose or gain electrons. Plasma is characterized by the presence of ions and free electrons, which make it electrically conductive. It can also respond to magnetic fields, making it useful for various applications. Yeah, and the angels are using it. Some examples of plasma include lightning. The sun and the stars are plasma. Fluorescent lights, they could contain plasma, which emits light when excited by electricity. Plasma TVs, they use individual cells filled with plasma to display images. Interesting. So plasma gives the ability to display various images. So is this why the UAP phenomena is able to shapeshift? Because they're using plasma, and within the plasma technology, it can display images as well. Fusion reactions. Plasma is used in experimental fusion reactors to create high energy reactions. Plasma has many unique properties and application. I think that all this plasma stuff was known back in the pre-Diluvian age and antiquities, when the fallen angels were giving man knowledge. Now, I think that they weren't giving mankind any of this plasma knowledge back in antiquity. I think they were using it, and because they were like, no, we're the gods. That's why. Look, we can generate fire from heaven, plasma. Now, if you understand that if we have technology that can just point up and ionize an area in the sky, we can literally make signs and miracle and have fire coming down from heaven. So when the false religious system comes and starts creating lying signs and wonders, right? They're lies. And we have all of the technology right now to make people hallucinate visions, to make people hear sounds in their heads, to burn down cities with this plasma technology, and to ionize the atmosphere as well, to make fire come down from heaven. Energy generation and storage, medical treatments such as plasma etching and plasma coagulation, material processing like plasma cutting and plasma deposition, and aerospace propulsion. So I think that if we're already realizing the potential for plasma in aerospace propulsion, now we understand that these UAPs are punching through from their spirit dimension into the physical realm, causing either just a natural physics effect, or they're doing it from their own volition, creating a plasma orb around them. So they're just flying around, but they have this plasma shield around them. It could be because, to a certain extent, angels, when they materialize into our realm, they have a physical body. So obviously, if they're coming into this realm with a physical body, especially if they're coming into this realm with a physical body and they're in rebellion to God, so God's not empowering them to do his will, which can allow them to do whatever, then they're just, using what they know to defend themselves. And this, I'm just musing, I'm just throwing out ideas, but very plausible in my opinion. Lightning and display technologies. So again, even within the plasma itself, images can materialize, propulsion. It can actually generate energy. It can store energy. And this just sounds like UAP. So that's my hypothesis, that we're looking at fallen angel technology, even to the point where in the future I'm going to do continued research in this realm, but we can even look at ancient hieroglyphs and if things, aka angels, appear, and the ancients, our ancient ancestors, were seeing materialized things like this, and they understood that they were conscious beings, then you would get this kind of art popping up. And we do have it all around the world. In Arizona, you have it, Armenia, New Mexico, Spain, Venezuela, United Arab Emirates. If Christians are uncomfortable and unwilling to dive into this, then we are not a light unto the world. We need to give the unsaved, the unbelieving, answers to current events, right? So it's very important that the Christian is a light unto, and it was like, yeah, I can't wait to get out of here. I'm waiting for the rapture train. Get that? Yes, great. Me too. Until then, we need to be a mouthpiece for truth, so that as many people have the seed planted, not only the seed of the gospel, but the seed of what this is. So they might not believe you. They might think, whatever, Christians, whatever. But let's say showing them this, it might stick in their head. And when it does happen, the great deception, we might save a couple of them, because great is the deception coming. Many Christians will lose their faith because of this. We have a lot of stuff like this in ancient art, ancient Christian art. And what I see here is just a artistic depiction of an angel that has materialized and is shielding himself in basically plasma. Or it could be humans that were given that technology, but I doubt it. I just see these now as plasma. These jellyfish, remember the jellyfish UFO? But, I think this is just showing that there's, it's going this way and it's being propelled. There's a propulsion occurring, a direction. That's it. I'm going to stop it there. I will be showing on another video, this from Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, Extraterrestrial Life, Plasmoids, Shapeshifters, Replicons, Thunderstorms, Lightning, Hallucinations, Aircraft Disasters, and Ocean Sightings. As documented by NASA Space Shuttle films and detailed in this report, self-illuminating, pulsating, plasma-like UAPs, plasmoids, have multiple shapes and sizes, are attracted to electromagnetic activity, and travel at different velocities from different directions, making 90 to 180-degree turns, as well as colliding, intersecting, and piercing other plasma, and have been filmed by U.S. Navy personnel and as U.S. Customs and Border Protection DHC 8 flying above and diving and sinking beneath the oceans, and by NASA following, circling, and hovering near the space shuttle's satellites and the Mir International Space Station, and congregating above and descending into thunderstorms and the lower atmosphere and military aircraft. And this may account for reports of UAPs following, harassing, chasing, and toying with aircraft. Plasmas also have explosive properties, negatively affect electronics and mental activities, possibly inducing hallucinations of alien abductions, pass through glass, plastic, metal, and enter the cockpit of airplanes, and have been observed by astronauts inside space crafts, the MIR and ISS space station. It is hypothesized that given these propensities to collide, plasmoids may be responsible for at least some inexplicable aircraft disasters, or as we just showed, disappearances. Sorry. Thunder, lightning storms are the main driver of Earth's GEC and direct positive currents into the ionosphere, which attracts plasmas. The troposphere also has a positive charge, and the ocean surface under white water and turbulent conditions develops a positive charge, and we hypothesize that this accounts for sightings of UAP in the lower atmosphere and soaring above and diving into the oceans, including, as reported here, shape-shifting UAP replicons that split into a generate additional shape-shifting UAPs as filmed by NASA and US Customs. Plasmoids appear to purposely interact and engage in complex behaviors, and it is suspected that they are sentient and represent a fourth domain of life, although plasma in the lower atmosphere may be responsible for UAP sightings over the centuries, including those that appear to battle over cities or follow and harass military ships and planes. Plasmoids cannot account for all UAPs, which may include extraterrestrial spacecraft from other worlds. All right. And yeah, we're going to maybe go through all of this article on another video. We'll just go through the whole thing. Okay. So hope I brought a little something new to the table, a little something that might be thought-provoking. Now, this guys is basically all the orbs that my brother Bruce was seeing. I think this is what I was telling Bruce from the very start. I said, these are fallen angels. This is interdimensional manifestations. And I did warn my brother that it's okay, I guess, to film this phenomenon. But I told him for years, do not open up a line of communication with these things. I said, because I think they're nefarious. And I hope these things had nothing to do with his passing. All right, that's it. All right, guys, I'm going to cut it short. Just go say hi to the rest of friends here. Stephen A seems to agree. If intelligence is truly intelligent, this is Stephen Fife, the only good path is the support of life. If it wasn't so, we would probably be already dead. Maria Ekman's talking about her own experiences with sleep paralysis as well as the shadow people. I'll just let them, I think they're just having some people having conversation amongst each other about the shadow people, real manifestations. It's a real phenomenon. If time in a variable with ship, it explains the dimensions of time and space. So when they move, they are in a condensed time, not in our dimension of time, but maybe space. Smash the like button. Thanks, Stephen. Also, in some of the biblical art are also in Egypt on the wall. I got some great footage of plasma changing into colors. So, Mystery, just contact me if ever you would want to come on to my channel, and I'll give you an opportunity to share all of the images that you're speaking about. Anybody else collaborate with me is free. I am a Christian channel, so I don't push necessarily new other gospels. I don't push New Age or anything like that. Once in a while, on a special consideration, I don't mind having a debate with somebody who's a non-believer, but the majority of the time, this is to push Christianity and push Christian to look at the world and what we see through a biblical worldview. So if people are not, that's not their jam, then, God bless you, follow your path. If you are interested in the Bible, then you know what, I'm very passionate about biblical studies. I'm not a pastor, never studied seminary, just Christian that reads the Bible and studies it and shares his passion. Just like my brother used to share his passion of astronomy, I share my passion of the Bible. So if that's something you like, subscribe. And Space Brother may use genetic cloning and genetic manipulation that would not make them human. They would be considered demons because they bypass the way of God. Yeah. To extent of loosening their soul essence. I agree. Stephen says, you are pretty good at understanding of plasma. Oh, thanks, man. I know Stephen's really, he creates all these things with resistors and batteries and all sorts of stuff, way over my head. I don't understand what he's doing, but it looks impressive. So you can always friend Stephen Fife if you're into a lot of stuff like creating like electronic stuff. That's, I'm showing my ignorance, Stefan. You might enjoy Stefan. All right. Just cut out. The signal is weak. There's a disturbance in the force. Darla says, Jason, does the Bible have reference to near-death experiences? No, I don't think so. I mean, there's visions. The prophets have many visions of the throne room. They have many visions of future events, but near-death experience. I mean, Paul was beaten to a pulp. Some think that he might have been resurrected from the dead after a beating. But no, not the classical sense. Now, it's very important. I'm not poo-pooing on near-death experiences. there's just way too many. But we do have to realize that these are not death experiences. These are near-death experiences. But my view of the intermediate state, is it soul sleep? Is there consciousness right away after you die? I don't know. And the Bible seems to talk about soul sleep, but in other passages it seems to talk that at least since the cross, that there is awareness in the intermediate state. I don't have a hard stance on that. I mean, also the fact that, like, it's like a surgery. Once you go to sleep, it doesn't matter if that surgery took 15 minutes or it took 48 hours that you're under. As far as you're concerned, you close your eyes and you open. There's no sense of time. And since time, space, and matter happened in the Big Bang, the eternal state might be very, very different than how we look at the present moment, and we let the past going this way, and the future infinitely. Eternity is infinitely an infinite amount of linear time forward and backward. That's infinity. But really, eternity can be actually something that's outside of time. That's kind of hard for us to grasp at times. So who knows? But I tend to lean on near-death experiences having some quite a lot of validity. All right, guys, that's it. Are you proud of me? I finished under an hour. That's all I had to present, and I went through all of the questions. So I'm going to call it a night, and I'm going to go watch somebody else on YouTube. All right. Bye, Stefan. See you, everyone. Thank you so much. 22 people. The channel is definitely growing. This is very encouraging. And I do want to thank Shane from Black Swan Revelation, as well as Bible Study with Derek, and Repo Man, and Josh, and anybody else that I may have forgotten. Thanks to that group, and thanks to people that are part of their community coming over to my community and subscribing. It's greatly appreciated. I'm truly blessed to have been approached by Shane and the gang. Love you guys. God bless. See you soon. Bye-bye.